flatbed, do you recommend people to still get into the niche of flatbed? Is there money out there for the guys, or would you recommend something else?
Uh, I've always, I've flatbedded for almost 22 years now, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. There's a lot of work involved, but if you're afraid of work, this ain't an industry for you. The day I told him I was having to go somewhere else, me and him both cried. This is one of those jobs, once you get a taste of it, I just don't believe you walk away from it. Where I find my success is keeping God first. Always. Always try to put him first. You'll never be last.
What's going on, the truckers? Welcome to the Asian My Show. I'm with my guy. I see this guy everywhere. I'm in Wildwood. He's here. We're in North Carolina. He's here. Tell us your name, brother.
Wes Ward.
That sounds like, are you an actor? Because Wes Ward, that sounds pretty damn cool, brother. I never heard that name before. Where'd that come from?
That's just family name.
You're the only one I've ever heard named Wes Ward, So that means you're super special, brother. we trucking, we're out here, so that's great, man. Tell us about your build right here.
It's just a 04 379 extended hood. It's got a 600 horse cat, 13-speed transmission, 370 rears. Got a long ways to go with it, though.
We were talking off camera and you were feeling that way. And, walk us around the build a little bit. Let us know what you've done.
Well, so far I've put custom panels on it from Roadworks, pipes, new seats, interior's pretty much still stock.
Damn, for stock, brother. You keep this clean.
We plan on doing a frame stretch sometime in the near future. We're going to about a 316 wheelbase to match it into the name of the truck, going with the whole theme.
Now, when you say match with the truck, I'm looking right here, brother. Peterbilt.
Because we're all built by prayer.
Wow. That's
what
amazing.
Builds all of us.
That's beautiful, brother.
So I'm trying to just kind of tie everything into that.
No, I love it.
In subtle ways, though.
Show us the subtle ways that you're tying things.
Check out the DOT tape here.
What does it say? Thou shalt not make unto thee any, what does that say?
Any grave image.
Wow.
Thou shalt not take the Lord and God in vain. Remember the Sabbath day. It's each one of the commandments. It's all 10 down each side.
All 10 of the commandments down each side.
And it alternates on each side.
Now that's beautiful, brother.
The trailer's a 2014 Mack, 80K beam. I've changed out all the mud flaps on it, polished it up. All the work I've done myself.
No, it's beautiful, brother. It really is.
I'm about 5 years into it so far, so I feel like I'm running behind to some of these guys.
But let's be honest right now. Don't we find ourselves always in a way, kind of always comparing ourselves to others? I try not to do it myself.
Yeah, but just what we run into, I mean, you look at $1 million build, and then you're out here running a single truck yourself, and you just feel like you're never going to get there.
No, I hear you. And what's the goal at the end of the day with this build?
Just do what I can and be happy.
I appreciate you, brother. For allowing me just to hang out with you for the day. You know what I mean?
I appreciate you.
I see the build, but now I'm very curious about the man behind the build. When did you start trucking?
Back in, I guess about 96, I started driving tow trucks. I did that till I was 21.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So in 99, I got my CDLs.
99, you got your CDL.
Yeah.
So let's do the quick math. How long you been trucking now? Wow. Pretty long time.
Yeah.
20 plus years.
Yeah.
Wow, that's beautiful. Now, did you have anyone else in your family that was a truck driver?
Yeah, my dad drove and his dad drove.
Oh, you're third generation.
Yeah.
You know,
It's in the blood.
It's in the blood, right? You know, people talk about that. It's in the blood. For the people that aren't truck drivers or don't have anyone in their family that are truck drivers, you know, what does that mean in the blood? Because we hear that a lot.
Well, for me, it's, most family traditional jobs, whatever your dad did for a living, you're kind of attracted to in a sense. So if you do, this is one of those jobs, once you get a taste of it, I just don't believe you walk away from it.
What's people always talk about the negative part, right? Being away from home, long hours, you're driving endless nights. What are some of the positive things that you love with this job?
Staring through the windshield, the freedom of it. It's where I fit in.
Wow, when you say that, unless you're a truck driver, you wouldn't understand what that really means. But isn't it crazy, brother, where in this day and age, majority of people, they got a boss. They got someone telling them where they got to go, where they got to be, when they got to wake up. And, people look at us all the time like, oh, how can you drive these long hours? But we move when we want to move.
It's got its sacrifices, but the reward's a lot greater.
I agree with you. The sacrifices, let's talk about that. In your life, what sacrifices have you made?
Now, you miss a lot of things. Kids growing up, you're not there for a lot of the stuff, a lot of the parts of them growing up. You miss a few things here and there. You miss a few ball games, stuff like that, a few plays at school.
Now, you think, how old are your kids now?
24 and 23.
So looking back, do you think they understand?
Yeah. I mean, they grew up around it, so they come to understand it. I mean, they just kind of, I guess, just growing up around it, they get used to it. They conditioned for it, and it's just kind of part of life.
No, I hear you, brother. It's like, what's one of the things you miss that you kind of regret, you wish you could have been home for?
Pretty much all of it.
So if you could do it all again, would you be over the road or would you be local?
Well, I drove local for about 13 years. My first 13 years, first 6 months, I did over the road when my kids were real little.
Mm-hmm.
And I just couldn't deal with it. Being away from them when they were real small, knowing I was missing every first. I couldn't do it. I wanted to be there. So I did find a good local job, found a really good guy to drive for. And I was home almost every night, off most weekends. But through the week, I was pulling 3,500, 4,000 mile a week. Sometimes I'd just come home at night to sleep, and that was it.
Wow.
Yeah. And then sometimes, I'd get plenty of time off, but for the most part, that was my typical week for the first 8 years of being with that guy. Close, around 3,500, 4,000 mile a week. And to do that and be home every night, it was rough. But yeah, I did that for almost 13 years, and then work got a little slow there, and it was time I knew I couldn't find somebody else who would treat me the way he did. So I knew it was time to do my own thing.
Well, it's hard to find someone amazing to work for. What are some of the green flags that people should know about? Because some of the people that might be watching this video, they have no one in their family that are truck drivers, so they might not know the signs of a good boss or a good owner. How did he treat you different versus how most of these companies treat us?
Well, my primary thing was I wanted somebody who would let me run like I wanted to, and put me in a truck like I felt like I deserved, that I would take care of, and he did that. He had me in a pretty decent looking truck, and I took care of it, and he didn't let me want for anything. If money was slow, he would give me extra money just because he wanted to take care of me. He didn't want to lose me.
Man, That's a great boss, brother.
Yeah. I mean, the day I told him I was having to go somewhere else, me and him both cried.
Wow.
I
You
mean, he was like a dad to me in a way.
you want to shout out this person? Who is that
He's
person?
passed away now.
He's passed away.
But it was Jerry Johnson.
Jerry Johnson.
Yep, good man.
You know, how long has it been? How many years has it been since you've gone on your own?
It's almost 9 years now.
9 years.
Yep.
You know, I hate to ask you this, but you know, Jerry Johnson looking down on us. Would he be proud of what you've done in trucking?
He'd be grinning pretty good.
He'd be grinning pretty good.
Yeah.
You think he'd like this truck right here you got?
Oh yeah. Yeah, he was. Even at 80 years old, he was hammer lane 100 mile an hour.
Man, sounds like a great guy.
He was a character. Really miss that one.
No, I hear you, brother. So most of your trucking that you learn from him?
A lot of it, yeah. He taught me how to really flatbed.
You know, let's talk about that for a second because you know, a lot of people want to get into flatbed. No one has the secret sauce that Jerry gave you. You know, maybe you could shine some light on us. Any advice for the new flatbed skateboarders out there? Anything that they can work on or maybe pay attention to?
Oh man, everything. There isn't enough information your brain can hold that will help you flatbed, because you never know what you're going to have on deck, and you got to get creative sometimes on how you secure it. You know, especially you get something that you can't damage at least a little bit, but you've got to hold on to it and secure it.
Any rules of thumbs that you stick by so that you make sure that you're always safe on the road with the load?
Always overkill.
What do you mean by that?
Well,
50 straps?
You know, if that's what it takes to make it feel like you overkilled it, yeah, 50 straps. I mean, it's, you know, you never just do what they call for, you know, what the least amount is. Do what makes you feel like it is over secured.
No.
Then you're ready to go down the road.
I love that. I love that. You know, I think a lot of people watching this are going to get a lot of value with that. You know, flatbed, do you recommend people to still get into the niche of flatbed? Is there money out there for the guys, or would you recommend something else?
I've flatbedded for almost 22 years now, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. There's a lot of work involved, but if you're afraid of work, this ain't an industry for you at all. I don't care if you're pulling a dry van. If you're afraid of work, you're not going to be successful in trucking.
Man, I like that. I like that. Is there still money out here for the new guys? Because, you know, a lot of times people watching this, they might talk to some people and they say, get out of trucking or don't get into this business. You know what I mean? What are your thoughts?
Well, there's a bunch of traps out there, you know, companies that look for guys who are new in the industry, and they'll take advantage of them, put them out on the highway, and basically give them just about minimum wage for if you count up the hours they're involved and the time they're putting in and everything. But they don't know no better. You know, we do have to, you know, make sure the word gets out there of how they should be getting paid and what they're worth. I mean, your time away from your family is worth a lot of money.
I agree 100%.
I mean, no amount of money could replace your time, but you know, you're taking that time away from your family. You deserve a lot of compensation for it.
I agree with you on that. If you had to do it all over again, you know, you're very blessed to have Jerry in your life. But if it was this time and age and you had to do it all over again, what steps you think you would have taken if you had to do it over again in the flatbed world? You know, for the new guys, so that they know, because a lot of guys, they don't know, and then they go with the first company, make a carrier that'll take them. You know.
I don't know. There's so many ways you can go about that. I mean, all you gotta do is really apply yourself, and you can't. It's nothing you can halfway. You know, it's either all or nothing. Because if you go into it halfway, you're gonna hurt and kill somebody. it's something you got to be all about.
No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Now, as an owner operator now, any advice for the people thinking about making that owner operator move from company driver? Because I know that's scary.
If you're thinking about it, do it.
That simple?
That's simple.
I love it.
Better be willing to work, though. And it's more than just behind the wheel.
I heard that, brother.
Sorry.
No, you're good. This is how we interview. We just talk and have conversations. As truck drivers, as your phone rings, people that don't know the industry, we're not just a truck driver. We're administrative, business management.
Well, that right there was actually my car warranty.
So you're okay on that one. Oh, no, that's great. But, talk about the different hats that you got to wear, because some people, they're confused. They think that all you do is grab the steering wheel and go.
No, man. You're going on your own truck. You need to at least be a little bit of a mechanic to at least, fix some of the minor issues you got. Because, you can't pay somebody $50 every time you have a light out or you need a windshield wiper changed. If that's you, then definitely don't buy your own truck. You've got to be able to do at least all the small things yourself, because you're going to save yourself a ton of money, and that's everything you save is money in your pocket.
No, we talk about the breakdowns in definitely the owner operator world. What's your biggest breakdown, brother?
Biggest breakdown was whenever I was still in a lease purchase truck, and it spun the tail shaft off the cam, the intake cam.
You were done?
For a week in Albuquerque.
Oh, no.
And the truck at the time had been breaking down on me. Not this truck, it was a Columbia. It had been breaking down probably once a month. It was something to do with the DPF deal.
Ain't it always?
That's why I got what I got now. Free emissions, 99 model engine. Completely got away from all the emission stuff, because this one here, the only time it's let me down is I broke a rocker arm once.
That's it. So
in 5 years.
I was going to ask you that recommendation for their first truck.
Go with something older that's in good condition. Preferably find something that's had a recent rebuild with papers.
Real papers.
Don't take somebody's word for it.
Oh, yeah. They always got a lot to say on the day they need to sell it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Those kind of trucks come with oceanfront property in Arizona.
Yeah, I like that. No, that's great. A second ago, you talked about lease purchase. There's a lot of people that hate lease, the word lease of any sorts. What's your thoughts about the word lease in general?
My thoughts aren't bad on it. I come to CRST and did their lease purchase deal, and as far as the way they done me on it, you couldn't ask for a better company to do one through. They back then they were doing like $320 a week truck lease payments. They sold me a used truck. I had only 500,000 miles on it, which most trucks are built for 1 million miles typically. $320 a week's nothing for a truck payment.
$320 a week?
Yeah.
That wasn't that bad. Now, CRST, is that who you're leasing under as...
Yeah, it's who I'm leased on to now, still.
Okay, so this is a great question, because people would think of CRST as being more of a mega carrier, right?
They are a pretty large carrier. I think they're upwards of a little over 6,000 trucks.
So a lot of times people say stay away from owner or big mega carriers and things like that. What has your real experience been? Because every time I ask somebody, someone has an answer, and then I'll ask them a question. Have you even ever worked there? And their answer is always no. So you're actually the first owner-operator that's leased on their truck or your truck with CRST that I've talked to in a long while. So
one of the major things you got to take into consideration when you're talking about lease purchases, you got guys, everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people try to become an owner-operator. Well, the problem is, if you look at businesses in general, in the United States, 9 out of 10 businesses fail. Of newly started businesses, 9 out of 10 fail. So 9 out of 10 people who's tried a lease purchase deal that you talk to, guess what you're going to get? It's a horrible deal. Don't do it. Stay away from it. Worked out fine for me. I followed all the rules. Worked hard, saved my money when I could, and it was there to bail me out when things happen. If I hadn't done that, you get a good $5,000-$6,000 a week, and it's not time to go spend money and buy a new boat or whatever. It's not party time. It's that money goes in the bank, and because you're running a business. And a lot of people don't get that in their head that it's a business. It's not their money. At the end of the week, whenever that paycheck comes in, it's not all your money. You got to run it like a business.
I agree 100%.
And you're an employee of your own business, so you can kind of pay yourself in a sense what you want, but you have to use common sense.
I love that. Let's be honest. If you're an owner operator and you leased your truck on with any company, I think you'd be successful, brother.
It's it's all about having, you got to use your head,
Yeah, it's
use your head and work hard.
It really is that simple, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just work really hard, stay really humble, and save as much money as you can, because you are going to have breakdowns.
Yep, definitely. Anything mechanical is going to fail. I don't care if it's brand new right off the lot or 20 years old.
And no, I love it. I love it. So at the end of the day, brother, is there anything that you'd like the world to know? Anything that you'd like truckers to know, or anyone in the industry know about the trucking world?
I think the best success, where I find my success, is keeping God first. Always. Always try to put him first. You'll never be last.
We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams.